This is as bad as I could possibly look. I was wrong.
Number 20. Hooray for North Hollywood Part 1, Animaniacs. If you want to make it in showbiz, having a few famous friends doesn't hurt. Even if you don't have any well-known contacts, this shouldn't stop you from doing the schmooze.
You gotta do the schmooze, or else you'll wind up being yesterday's news. You gotta schmooze them while you're talking PR from the phone in your car.
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot name-drop several A-listers in this song, although only one is a fellow Toon. As Dot brags about suggesting that the eldest Simpson child be named Bart, a familiar hairdo wanders across the screen.
And on The Simpsons, you suggested that they call the kid Bart.
Of course, this boy has 8 spikes instead of 9, avoiding any copyright lawsuits. Getting Bart to cameo probably wouldn't have been that hard since Nancy Cartwright also voices Mindy. In reality, Matt Groening conceived the name Bart as an anagram of brat. Dot might bend the truth, but that's how you do the schmooze.
Word Bart, if you rearrange the letters, is brat, and that's what Bart is.
Number 19. The making of 101 Dalmatians, the series. The Simpsons delivered one of their funniest Disney send-ups with the episode 2001 Greyhounds.
Wow, 25 puppies! An army of dogs!
Whether intentional or not, 101 Dalmatians the series would bring things full circle 3 years later. In this quote-unquote behind-the-scenes episode, the Dalmatians list several potential angles they considered for the series. One included a primetime satire that recreates The Simpsons' living room to a T. Lucky, Cadpig, and Rolly model themselves after Bart, Lisa, and Maggie for a couch gag.
We even tried primetime cutting-edge satire. But nothing was working.
Unfortunately, there isn't enough room on the couch for the other puppies, causing the couch to fall through the floor. This parody could actually pass as a legitimate Simpsons couch gag. All that's missing is a song about seeing Mr. Burns' vest.
See my vest, made from real gorilla chest. Feel this sweater, there's no better than authentic Irish setter.
Number 18. Retrace your stepalizer, Solar Opposites. In the season 1 finale of this sci-fi sitcom, Terry and Corvo reminisce about the wacky shenanigans they've gotten into since arriving on Earth.
We had no idea what we were in for.
You know, Terry, we spent so much time on Earth pretending to be a family, I didn't even notice when we actually became one.
While some of these memories call back to past episodes, we hear about a few others for the first time. Namely, the Solar Opposites and The Simpsons went head-to-head with the Monstars on the basketball court.
What about when we teamed up with The Simpsons for a game against the Monstars from Space Jam?
Homer, Bart, and Marge were all present. Although, it looks like the Solar Opposites did most of the hard work, with Terry wearing Michael Jordan's number. Man, why couldn't this have been the plot to Space Jam: A New Legacy? Or at least gotten its own episode? In a way, though, not knowing how this team-up came to fruition makes the joke funnier. Number 17. A Tale of Two Cows, Drawn Together. No cartoon is safe in this animated reality show. The Simpsons was an obvious target, with the characters occasionally popping up in the background. The most savage example occurred in Season 2, with Bart and Lisa's skeletons being found between the ceiling and attic floor. As if that wasn't gruesome enough, a live-action cow terrorizes Springfield in the same episode.
A rabid live-action cow is on a killing spree throughout the cartoon universe. We take you live to Springfield, Connecticut.
It's worth noting that Connecticut is canonized as the state Springfield is located in, at least as far as this universe is concerned. This clever in-joke is easy to miss, as we cut to the mayhem the mad cow has unleashed upon the Simpson household. Don't have a cow, man. No, seriously, we want nothing to do with this cow. Also, did Bart die twice?
Is this your live-action cow? He followed me home, and now he's my best friend.
Number 16. Mr. Empty Pants, Married with Children. During the network's infancy, 2 suburban sitcoms helped shape the Fox network's edgy identity: The Simpsons and Married with Children.
You should be more like the optometrist who looks at his pants and thinks they're half full.
Get her out of here, Peg, right now.
Both centered on families with smart aleck children, a beautiful matriarch, and a patriarch who isn't especially bright. The most apparent difference is that one show was animated while the other was live action. That didn't stop Married with Children from treating Al Bundy like a cartoon character. In Season 7, Peggy draws a character named Mr. Empty Pants, who resembles Al. Peggy tells him to embrace his newfound fame, although Al insists he isn't a cartoon like Homer Simpson.
So come on, honey. Be like Homer Simpson and go.
I'm not a cartoon. I'm almost a human being, damn it.
The Simpsons writers took plenty of shots at the Bundys, but we wonder if they had this episode in mind when Bart created Angry Dad. Number 15, the Griffin equivalency, the Big Bang Theory. Is there really a problem with Apu? Wherever you stand on the debate, Hank Azaria hasn't voiced the Quickie Mart proprietor since 2017. Almost a decade earlier, Howard Wolowitz gave his 2 cents. Raj goes out with Penny on what may or may not be a date.
So you're just gonna sit around here and mope while Penny is out with Dr. Apu from the Quickie Mart?
Howard encourages Leonard to not stand idly by while Penny is out with Dr. Apu, drawing the parallel since Raj is also from India. When Leonard finds the comment offensive, Howard responds with the argument that white people typically make. Apu is a cherished Simpsons character. How can the comparison be racist?
It's not a date, and that's racist. It can't be racist. He's a beloved character on The Simpsons.
If The Simpsons ever decides to bring back Apu, maybe actor Kunal Nair should be considered as a replacement. Just don't ask Howard to do his Indian accent.
Hello, Lalita, Rajkota. Yes, it is good to talk to you too.
Number 14, Hand to God, Arrested Development. Harvard University is known for 3 things: law school graduates who are still paying off their student loans, tech-savvy dropouts who will likely become richer than those with a diploma, and Simpsons writers. This in-joke carried over to one of the shows that followed The Simpsons, Arrested Development.
Father's some guy from Harvard, but that's all I know.
That's great. It's probably some geek Simpsons writer's kid.
When Michael Bluth finds out that Maggie is supposedly carrying the child of a Harvard graduate, he assumes the father is some, quote, geek Simpsons writer. After Michael relays this story to his sister Lindsay, she remarks that not every Simpsons writer is necessarily a geek.
Well, first of all, I'm sure there are writers on The Simpsons who aren't geeks.
She doesn't refute the assumption that most of them are from Harvard, however.
Hey, Egghead! Sing Fair Harvard. Fair Harvard,
Number 13, Faking Bad, American Dad. The Simpsons once claimed that Stan Smith plagiarized Peter Griffin, who in turn ripped off Homer. The American Dad writers naturally did not take this lying down. As the show approached its 100th episode, Roger the Alien threw shade at the whole Maggie shot Mr. Burns twist.
Tonight we're gonna find out who shot Mr. Burns. What? 15 years ago? Who was it? Really? The baby?
At the same time, there's clearly an appreciation for The Simpsons among the American Dad crew. This is reflected in another episode where Haley and Steve go into the fake ID business. One of their clients is someone named Mike Roch. You might think that sounds like one of the fake names Bart would use to call Moe's Tavern.
Okay, next ID is ready. Mike Roch? I'm looking for Mike Roch.
That's because Bart is the one behind this, taking time off from pranking Moe to get back at the Smiths. Number 12, Dirty Dancin', Dinosaurs. Despite not being animated, Dinosaurs was often grouped with The Simpsons as one of the more high-concept family sitcoms to debut around this time. The comparison was not lost on either crew. In 1992, The Simpsons watched a show resembling Dinosaurs, mentioning how it closely resembles their lives.
It's like they saw our lives and put it right up on screen.
The Dinosaurs writers pushed back the following year as Earl Sinclair watches TV, noticing how virtually every half-hour comedy is about an idiotic father.
This is why TV stinks. One show's a hit, they make 50 more like it with the same characters and the same premise.
Earl argues that they're just making the same show over and over. Baby Sinclair responds with a catchphrase he most likely got from one of those shows.
Don't have a cow, man.
It's not as if these sitcom tropes started with The Simpsons or Dinosaurs. Decades later, they are still showing no signs of going extinct.
Would you turn off that rock music?
Hey, you don't have a stegosaurus, man.
Number 11, Fashion, Portlandia. We may never know for sure what state The Simpsons live in, but Matt Groening is originally from Oregon. Groening revisits his roots in this episode of Portlandia, but he isn't back in Oregon for pleasure.
Your Honor, this guy has been making bootleg Simpsons merchandise.
It's business as Groening pursues legal action against Spike for knockoff Bart Simpson t-shirts with a character named Bart Scompson. We hope we're pronouncing that right. While Groening is usually lenient about bootleg merchandise, he takes offense concerning the shoddiness of the shirts and how horrible the pun is.
He's the creator of The Simpsons, and he's saying that your shirt looks like his character, Bart.
The case seems open and shut until a surprise witness is called. The real Bart Simpson who inspired Groening and Spike. This Bart is all grown up now, although he still sounds like Nancy Cartwright.
Bart Scompson, the original rude boy.
Number 10, Attatoy, Robot Chicken. A parody within another parody, This robot chicken sketch sees journalist Pat O'Brien of The Insider giving his viewers the latest scoop on several shows, including The Simpsons.
Tired of their liberal shenanigans, Fox owner Rupert Murdoch fired Simpsons creator Matt Groening and promises same show, brand new attitude this season.
Morning, Apu. One order of freedom fries, please.
Oh, for the love of my heathen God. They're called French fries, you fat, stupid American.
I'm into Homeland Security. Don't move.
Feeling that the series has become too liberal, Rupert Murdoch gives it a Fox News attitude. When Apu lashes out at Homer for calling French fries freedom fries, Homeland Security busts in and arrests the resident Quickie Mart clerk. The Simpsons enjoy a red, white, and yellow barbecue while Apu is chained up.
I hope Apu has learned his lesson.
I am so sorry I ever dared question the wisdom and strength of the United States.
Hopefully someone out there is making a documentary about Apu's problematic incarceration. And this wouldn't be the last time these two animated universes collided. The Robot Chicken Gang has contributed to multiple Simpsons couch gags, once going full stop motion and later mixing different animation styles.
Ew, cheap PVC smell. Oh no, I'm an action figure, and I hate action.
Number 9. Guess what's coming to dinner? The Real Ghostbusters. With yellow skin, overbites, and 4 fingers on each hand, the Simpsons would admittedly look rather off-putting if they existed in our world. If anything, they'd seem less like humans and more like paranormal creatures.
Ow! All of ya!
Dad!
Sorry, Buggy Boy, but this is war!
The Real Ghostbusters even poked fun at their odd appearances in this episode. Coming back from vacation, the Ghostbusters are appalled to find that their headquarters has been taken over by a ghostly yellow family that's clearly modeled after The Simpsons, as well as the Bundys from Married with Children. Of course, the grungy family is far more grotesque with misshapen slug-like bodies. The Grungies eventually decide to relocate, although it's uncertain where they'll go next.
It's impossible to get any peace and quiet around here.
Mom, you've got something to say, remember?
Well, you did kind of save my kid. Guess I should. Thank you.
Maybe Maud Flanders has a room for rent in the afterlife? Too soon?
But I've been wondering if your decision to take Maud was, well, wrong. Unless this is part of your divine plan. Could you just give me some kind of sign? Anything. And after all that church chocolate I bought.
Number 8. Dial M for Mother, The Critic.
Well, that's a clip from the new remake of Pride of the Yankees. The studio changed the ending because test audiences thought this one was nicer. Well, let me tell you, life is not all happy endings, and you're mature enough to know the truth.
The Critic was an all-too-short-lived animated series created by Al Jean and Mike Reiss, who served as co-showrunners for The Simpsons Season 3 and 4. Jean returned as showrunner in Season 13, holding the position ever since. You might remember Jay Sherman from such crossovers as A Star Is Burns, which saw The Critic drop by Springfield for a film festival.
Goodbye, Mr. Sherman. If I ever play Carnegie Hall, I'll give you a call.
And if you ever want to visit my show...
Nah, we're not gonna be...
While The Simpsons never came to visit Jay, The Critic did allude to them multiple times. In this meta moment, Geraldo Rivera claims that Jay's references always go over his viewers' heads. Jay responds with an obscure reference, frustrating a family watching at home. The family changes the channel to Homer stepping on a rake and Bart saying a catchphrase, which is more their speed.
First of all, it's been said that you talk over the heads of your audience.
Well, Geraldo, to quote the last line of Gargantua and Pantagruel, "On y soit qui me les pense."
They curb violence, but they allow this.
No! Ay, caramba!
Number 7. The Automated Animated Adventure, Garfield and Friends. This Garfield segment borrows a page from Duck Amuck, a classic Warner Brothers short in which the animator toys with Daffy Duck's reality.
Hey, psst. Whoever's in charge here. The scenery. Where's the scenery? Stand back, musketeers. They shall sample my blade.
Aside from paying homage to the Looney Tunes, this episode also makes commentary on animation's increasing reliance on computers. When Garfield is digitized, he goes through a few different simulations, parodying He-Man, Muppet Babies, and various other cartoons that were popular at the time. Just when Garfield thinks he couldn't possibly look worse, He's given spiky hair and bulging eyes a la Bart Simpson.
This is as bad as I could possibly look. I was wrong. This is worse.
As far as Garfield is concerned, this is a new low. He probably would have felt more comfortable in scratchy skin.
I brought you more lasagna, cousin.
Number 6, a big piece of garbage, Futurama. It took almost a decade and a half for The Simpsons and Futurama to have a full-blown crossover on the small screen.
Ooh! Don't drink my loved ones! Don't! Oh, bite my shiny metal ass! A robot with a catchphrase!
Of course, both Matt Groening shows had already referenced each other several times before. In the case of Futurama, the funniest instance comes in Season 1 when the Planet Express crew lands on a massive ball of garbage heading for Earth. Fry couldn't be more excited upon spotting a pile of discarded Bart Simpson dolls. With Nancy Cartwright providing the voice, one of the dolls says Bart's iconic "Eat My Shorts" catchphrase, which Bender takes literally.
Look, a real Beanie Baby. Oh, a Mr. Spot collector's plate. Oh, some Bart Simpson dolls.
Eat my shorts.
Okay.
This is actually a clever send-up of all the merchandise spawned from Bartmania during the early 90s. We guess the unsold Bart products had to go somewhere.
It's for you, Bart. You'll always have them to remind you of the time when you were the whole world's special little guy.
Thanks, Mom. And now you can go back to just being you instead of a one-dimensional character with a silly catchphrase. Ay, caramba!
Number 5, Weekday Afternoon Live, Tiny Toon Adventures. While this Tiny Toons episode primarily satirizes SNL, the guest host is unmistakably a Bart Simpson caricature, albeit with purple skin instead of yellow.
Thanks, man. I'm Blard Simpleton. You know, I was nervous about doing this show, but hey, I've been working in cartoons all my life, so what's the big deal?
Like Bart, Blard Simpleton is from an animated show that's fairly grounded in reality. Blard is in for a rude awakening when he arrives on the Tiny Toons set, where characters are blown up, eaten alive, and maimed on a regular basis. Unfortunately for Blard, he cannot renege on his hosting duties, and ultimately winds up falling through the stage with the rest of the cast. Blard is voiced by Tress MacNeille, who also voiced Babs Bunny. Funnily enough, another episode saw Babs impersonating Marge, Bart, and Maggie.
I know. Let's all have some cupcakes. Yummy and nutritious.
Cupcakes. Cool, man.
Even more fitting, MacNeille has also voiced various supporting players on The Simpsons.
I collect pictures of cakes that I clip out of the magazines. It all started in 1941, when Good Housekeeping featured a photo of a lovely cake.
You wouldn't happen to have any real cakes around here, would you?
Oh my, no, I don't care for cake. Too sweet.
Number 4, Duckman and Cornfed in Haunted Society Plumbers. Duckman. Founded by former husband and wife Arlene Klasky and Gabor Chupo, Klasky Chupo provided the animation for the original Simpsons shorts on The Tracy Ullman Show.
Fresh chocolate chip cookies. Oh, don't touch those yet. They're very, very hot.
Aha! No one's around. The perfect crime.
The company also produced the first 3 seasons of The Simpsons before branching out with shows like Duckman. The Duckman crew made a couple of allusions to their Simpsons roots, most notably in this episode. After cracking a haunting case, Duckman and Cornfed are rewarded with donuts.
Donuts? At least there's one thing we can be grateful for. There's no such thing as ghosts.
They're suddenly confronted by what appears to be a real ghost, which turns out to just be Homer under a bedsheet. Dan Castellaneta himself cameos as Homer and even recycles a line from an old Tracy Ullman short.
The perfect crime. What the hell are you staring at?
The episode was nominated for a Primetime Emmy, although it ironically lost to The Simpsons. Number 3, Channel Chasers, the Fairly OddParents. On a journey through the airwaves, Timmy Turner inserts himself into numerous parodies of classic cartoons.
I remember this. This is that Christmas special that I used to watch every year with my parents.
One of the shows Timmy enters is called The Feldmans, which commences with a faithful recreation of the Simpsons intro. Following a chalkboard gag, Timmy darts out of detention with Cosmo serving as a skateboard.
I don't understand. Why would Vicky run in here?
This is the longest running animated show on
vision!
Timmy encounters a handful of residents inspired by Springfield locals, such as Krusty the Clown, Ned Flanders, and Barney Gumble. Vicky, meanwhile, steals from El Barto's book, vandalizing the nuclear power plant. An ensuing accident turns the Barney lookalike into a radioactive man. Even with these newfound powers, he's still drawn to this universe's equivalent of Mose. Also, Alec Baldwin voices future Timmy, and we assume he's happy to be far away from Homer.
You're crushing my husband.
Billy Baldwin!
I'm Alec Baldwin. Could you get off me?
Number 2, The Simpsons Guy, Family Guy. These two shows have made fun of each other so much that we've actually given the topics their own lists. But this list would not be complete without us at least mentioning this crossover episode, in which the Griffins happen upon Springfield.
Huh. Guess we're in a town called Springfield.
Springfield, eh? What state?
I can't imagine we're allowed to say.
At first, the Simpsons and Griffins get along great given their similarities. They prove too similar, however, as Homer accuses Peter's favorite beer of being a Duff imitator.
Oh, this is just the same as Duff, but, like, worse.
Hey, come on now. This is my favorite beer you're talking about. Hell, I work for the company. It's my livelihood.
Oh, yeah? Well, your livelihood is based on fraud. Look at this. Huh?
While the Family Guy writers take just as many shots at themselves, they also aren't afraid to bring up the fatigue Simpsons fans started experiencing during the later seasons. This culminates with a giant chicken fight, minus the chicken, between Homer and Peter. Don't expect the Simpsons to have an extended stay in Quahog anytime soon. Number 1, Simpsons already did it. South Park. In his hopeless pursuit of world domination, Butters is annoyed that his best ideas have already been done on The Simpsons.
Okay, how about this, Dougie? I'm going to pose as a real estate agent and con everyone in town into buying a monorail, and then skip town with all their money. No?
Simpsons did it. They did it episode 204.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker know how Butters feels, as they've also come up with several great ideas, only to find that The Simpsons beat them to it. A notable example came in season 6 when they planned to have Cartman block out the sun. Reportedly, even while writing this episode, it was brought to their attention that a subplot involving sea people worshipping Cartman mirrored a Treehouse of Horror storyline.
Welcome to our world, most gracious Lisa.
Your world is incredible, and you speak English.
We have listened to you speak since the dawn of time, O Creator, and we have learned to imitate you exactly.
This coincidence brought everything together in the end, however, as Butters learns that it's okay if The Simpsons did something first. Besides, South Park would rather invite comparison to The Simpsons than Family Guy.
You don't like Family Guy either, huh?
I hate Family Guy.
What's your favorite Simpsons send-up? Let us know in the comments.
Look, Maggie, they have a baby too.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.